So what are the challenges then for these companies when they're considering these different types of work environments?
So let's just kind of walk through the progression of those three examples that we just talked about. So it is extremely tough. Companies that are taking that more prominent, that first position of you have to be on site and we're not going to adjust. Not only are they going to have a hard time attracting talent compared to the positions those people they're competing against and the options, it's definitely a candidate driven market right now. There's a lot more opportunities than there are talent, definitely in the areas that we focus on. So you're putting your own existing people in positions at risk without having any autonomy, and it's just really hard to attract because you have to have people that are willing to go into the office 5 days a week. All the studies and the data that we've seen since the pandemic is people have had a lot of autonomy and they've been able to be successful and complete their tasks in the desired way while being remote. We've done surveys in a couple of different niches like regulatory affairs and found that most people want a hybrid. They want some autonomy.
Yeah.
They're not opposed to being on site.
Exactly.
They just don't want to be on site 5 days a week.
Yeah, they understand the value of being together with your coworkers, but yet having that autonomy.
Yeah, and I think personally, I'd rather be for our team to be on site, the ability to get together, share thoughts strategically. We have some remote employees that come in, right, and we were able to make that work, but there's still that huge value, right, and camaraderie and being able to be strategic and being together. So it just makes it a lot harder because you're limiting your pool of talent. You are extremely limited based on geography or somebody being willing to relocate. We're seeing people are less interested in relocating since the pandemic. They have more options to work remotely, so you just have less access from a talent standpoint. Now let's talk about hybrid. We just had a client in southern LA, very specific needs, right? Pharmaceutical combination products, CMC, regulatory, as well as quality assurance for pharmaceutical development. We filled 2 director level positions. They had to be on site, 3 days a week. Well, you can't. A lot of these places that we're at, you can't do anything as the crow flies, right?
Yes.
Or out there, maybe it's a seagull. Depends on what it is, right? But traffic is a challenge. That's a limiting factor, and so again, you have a smaller talent pool, but at least you have some autonomy. People are certainly more open to that. If it's 100% remote, you have just opened up the talent pool. You also have the opportunity to provide value to a candidate and not pay necessarily a premium in your cost. And I think when the pandemic first started, over the first year, there are certain skills and areas that we've seen where the comps went up quite a bit, significantly. In certain areas, I've seen where it's starting to come back down because the companies are like, okay, we're in Boston, we're near New York City. We've chosen to give more autonomy and have a culture that provides that, or remote, but we're not going to pay a premium for the cost of living to that geography.
Yes.
And so candidates, I think, have to be more open to what it is most important to them and maybe that bit of give and take. So I think those are kind of the 3 scenarios, and as we continue to move forward, we'll see what happens, but I think not having any autonomy and expecting people to be on site, depending on what the position is, 5 days a week, that's gonna be tough.